Oh, boy.
Boy, there's no explaining it. It just it happens. We'll be back. Johnny Winters is here, and Don Yesso. Stay where you are. Okay, we are back. Okay, we have another 11-year-old with us tonight, Johnny Winters. Jonathan Winters has probably had as much influence on other comedians as anybody I know, but nobody can be Johnny Winters. He is unique. He has a movie coming out called Moon Over Parador with Richard Dreyfuss. It's coming out in August. And he has a book out called Winter's Tales, Stories and Observations for the Unusual. No kidding. Would you welcome Jonathan Winters? Goodness.
I was certainly taken with the little girl.
Yeah. Isn't she nice?
I really was. You know, at 11, of course, I was still doing this. If I give you... Oh, they were saying that. If I give you 4 apples and 3 more, how many do you have? Too many for my lunchbox. At 11. Not funny. Yeah. Not funny to the teacher.
No. And this kid is in college.
This kid is in college. Boy, it must be. Of course, she's doing a smart thing. From my standpoint, she's dating a 19-year-old. Because that guy is probably very sophisticated. And, you know, type, "Hi, honey, how are you? Here's another copy of Mice and Men." I don't know.
Were you any good in school?
I was kidding.
What were you like in school?
What was I like?
Were you disruptive? Were you a...
No, I wasn't.
Now, most people would think you're crazy.
I know that. Well, they do today.
Yes.
But years ago, I was a very normal child. Too normal, probably. I wasn't making any money. No, my parents were divorced. I won't go into a long thing in deference to... They're gone anyway, but...
Oh, sorry to hear that.
The thing was that... Dad was off, you know, somewhere in an open field or, you know, settling insurance policies near a creek bank. And so I just didn't know about him where he was. And it was always explained he's away. Everybody in our family was away a lot. Where's Uncle, Aunt Emma? She's away, dear.
You never knew where.
Yeah. Well, I knew that eventually, as I went by one of the institutions, but at any rate, Mom did her best, and she tried, but I struggled because, when people say it's, as you asked the little girl, which was interesting, you said, what are some of your favorite subjects and what do you excel in? Well, when you're 11 and in college, of course, you excel in everything.
Yeah.
I was blown in all departments. Math was not my best.
Yeah.
I got as far as geometry, and... I thought that was just, having been tutored in literally everything from the apples to algebra, A square plus B square, and
you
sitting
still
there.
Remember that?
Oh, please. Yes. But because I remember the students going up and finishing. And I was always like this, you know. When she was, it was interesting. I really taken by her philosophy, some of those words. When it was always John Winters' problem number 6. And I was, but you become an actor. It's interesting. I was calling on, failures then. Mind failures, arthritis in both feet. So I'd say, "I can't walk, sir. I can't walk to the board. Maybe if you bring the board to me." Get up.
Surely.
But,
I like the multiple choice stuff because you had a shot at it. You know.
Where did you go to school?
Well, you could take a guess.
Did you have multiple choice?
Sure, we had.
I told you, Dr. Nendler. You cheated me. We didn't get the multiple choice. God bless you.
The essays were the worst. The blue book of the essays.
I never. Oh, well, now you're talking about college with the blue book. I was in college just about an hour. First of all, they paddled me. I wasn't used to that. I'd come out of 3 years in the Marines, and a guy said, "Assume the angle." And I said, "What angle are we talking about? We're back to geometry again." I grabbed the ankles. How many times? In those days, we were really in shape.
Yeah.
Had the 32 waist, and we didn't have steroids in those days. We picked each other up. If you could find an attractive man, with well-built, without going too far, building, the arms automatically grow. No, the guy spanked me or paddled me, and I had to repeat all the chapters, and apparently there are a lot of chapters in the Deke.
And that was it, huh?
Well, that was it for him.
Yeah.
I
forgot you. Of course, you were in the Marines.
Yeah, well, the three years. I don't know where I was. I didn't know where I was a lot because we weren't told. And many's the time, people say where we were. I knew we were in the Pacific. You were in the Marines.
Yes,
You became a general.
No, colonel.
Don't really?
Colonel, just a colonel.
That's as good as a general.
All right.
Must be very proud of that.
Thank you.
Did you strafe a lot of workers in the field? No, those guys at El Toro. Well,
Nice to see you having shaved. My seat just went down.
Hey.
My seat just went down.
You may be. Hey, how about this? No.
God, I thought we were canceled. I thought it was all over. The seat just went.
Well, you may be dating the little girl.
That's what the hell happened? Fix me. Get up. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Are you all right?
Well, when it's over, it's over.
Boy.
NBC is cruel the way they tell you that just the seat goes down and they move somebody in.
I thought the little girl was going to run in.
Hey, he's my size now.
I haven't seen you for a while. Do you take a vacation on what you call a vacation? Go somewhere?
Well, Johnny, I've been on so many. As a matter of fact, and I'm not making this up, some stuff I have to. I mean, if you return home late at night, you better have a story.
Yes.
So, at any rate, I'm going fishing in 2 weeks with a companion. And, wonderful guy. And, I wanted to take a girl, but I'm married. So I found this guy that, fingers are gone. But at any rate, we're going to fly from here, LAX to Minneapolis, and then Minneapolis to International Falls, and then to Bemidji, a little place. Yeah. That's where the Mississippi River.
Yeah.
Interesting piece of history. A little girl might be interested in this. It's only about that wide, so anybody can step over the Mississippi right at Bemidji. There are no fish there. You have to take dynamite to get anything. But then we go into Canada and do a lot of this, and oh, jeez.
Well, that sounds like fun.
It should be.
Camping,
if it isn't, I'm down.
Camping out and cooking and all that stuff?
Well, it's fun if you don't get bitten by a snake. I got bitten 1 year, and I don't want to get into where I was bitten, but it stopped fishing right away. But at any rate, it's just fun to get outdoors.
Yeah. We'll sell a little something here, and then we'll come back. Stay where you are. Every time John comes on, we kind of give him a little exercise here, since you do so many characters. We're talking about traveling. I'm going to give you a couple of names of, say, tourists from other countries who are coming over to America on vacation, and you just give me your impressions or why they came here or wherever it flows, all right? British agent Leslie Sitzpuffin.
Actually, it's Fitzpuffin.
I'm sorry.
It's mispronounced. It was when I was first a young agent, and obviously still being mispronounced. That's perfectly understandable and perfectly all right. I've never been in all my travels. I was in the British Army, and as a youth, I wasn't with any army. I was just mainly at home in Devon. But when I jumped out of school, I went directly to Africa, and then we engaged the Italians there, and the Germans too, and I was in the bloody war for some time. And then time took its toll, and I went to India and raised snakes. And then now I want to go to America, and my chief reason for going, there's so many reasons. I mean, when you think of 50 states, my God in heaven, that's a tremendous amount of people in a vast country. I can only think of China and Russia being as big, or Africa. America's right in there. It's just enormous. And so much going on, color TV and automobiles on the highways and pretty girls doing things. And so I want to go and see a baseball game. Any man that makes a couple of £1 million with a mitten in the middle of summer, catching a silly white ball and hitting something with a stick, I want to see it.
Yes.
Well, if I didn't see it, I suppose I'd go directly to the apartment and put my head near an air conditioning unit.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Leslie. How about Monsieur Francois Defoe?
Ah, Monsieur Defoe.
Mr. Defoe. I
Defoe.
mispronounced your name again.
No,
I'm
it's
sorry.
all right. You know, Defoe is correct. You know, fou in French means crazy.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yes, I am very aware of that.
Francois de Crazy.
Francois Defoe. Francois de Crazy, you know, when it's translated into English at any rate. But my reason for coming to America, like the other man, I was never in a war. It was unfortunate. I couldn't go. I had double murmur in the mind or something. And my décolle, mon saccaway chez ton sondu, which is mind murmuring. And the eyes roll around and you can't concentrate on the artillery. So I passed on that and had just a series of affairs de son cher.
I see.
And but I'm going to America because I've always wanted to go to Hollywood.
Hollywood?
Oh, yes. I've been married, 6 or 7 times, you know. Oh, yes. And I'd like to try one more, Maybe go to Anaheim for a honeymoon and whatever, but I've seen so many beautiful women, they're not all in Paris or Bordeaux or Monaco or, Algiers or whatever, Italy. There are a number of them, right in Hollywood. The young girls who are 25, 30, 35. Right now, I would settle for a woman about 48. A good woman who just said, I know a woman down the street where I live is like that. She carries a ghetto blaster,
Well, it's certainly nice that you're here. Now let's talk to a tourist from Germany, Hans Beldenhofer.
Yes, that's exactly right. Well done. Good thinking. Hans Beldenhofer.
Hans Beldenhofer.
Obviously, I'm German, And a lot of people during the engagement I was in thought I was Dutch. I started out with the Edam cheese as a child. And we captured a guy by a windmill when Father and I were visiting Amsterdam. My main reason for coming to America is to visit the cemeteries.
Beg pardon?
Cemeteries. I love battlefields.
Oh, I see.
Really, I should have said battlefields. Same thing, if you die there with a cannon, or you just whatever, But I want to also see my dream, and I'm originally from Bavaria, What? Yeah, I recognize her. Fräulein Steckler.
Fräulein
I thought you'd raise your hand sooner or later. Used to be in that leather coat in Paraguay. It gave you away. Any rate, I really looking forward to seeing Detroit.
Detroit?
Oh, yeah. Any major city with all those incredible, marvelous people and those guys that sit down at the drawing boards and make the cars. They goofed. And I want to see why Detroit made a mistake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, sir.
Other than that, a couple of steins, a little beer. Prosit.
Yeah, well.
Ooh, jeez, you hit that a good lick.
Thank you, Hans. Want to mention, you actually went to Paraguay to make this movie?
Well, no, we went to Brazil.
Brazil, excuse me.
Went to Brazil a year ago.
Moon over Parador.
Moon over Parador. It won't be out. I wish we had anything. Still, we have nothing. One of those rare times, an actor sits there and starts to talk about a movie. We have nothing for you to see. You'll just have to wait like me. So, yeah, crash. We went down a year ago. August
first trip?
September.
First trip?
First trip. Well, I've been down to Colombia. I shouldn't drop heavy names, but good. Colombians are a little bit of everything here tonight. 2 hands here, one lady from Germany. Incredible. Went down to Colombia years ago, and I've been in, Peru, which I really loved. 2 from Peru. You rascals. Here's something else. Throw a light on that person. They're from Encino. At any rate, I love Peru, Machu Picchu. But in Brazil, we had a marvelous time. Richard Dreyfuss, who's a fantastic actor and one of the hottest properties around, did a great job, along with Raul Julia, who was... he just finished that series on Onassis, where he...
Yeah, he played Aristotle Onassis.
And he's an exciting actor, along with Sammy Davis Jr., a wonderful guy, and a guy that's been around since he was before the little 11-year-old. It was a great guy and a lot of fun to be with.
Did you speak the language at all?
Did I speak the language?
Or did you just make it up?
Well, I can speak Spanish if you put something to the head and that's quite long and black, then chances are we'll talk about the tires and coche. No se le mi esposa mi enfermo. Donde es el coche? Aquí, you know. And mon dia su muerte, maricón. Whatever comes to you, you know. You got to do it. You got to throw a lot of things around very fast. Despacio, you know. The guy will say, hopefully, the guy from Paraguay or from Brazil. They're Portuguese in Brazil. Yeah. Marvelous country. I took a lot of pills, and they didn't work. For food and other reasons. And I was just up all night watching Portuguese television and just sort of... and then, of course, in my lap, I had some... Most of the times when you do go to the commode, the bathroom, whatever they want to call lavabo.
El baño.
Yeah, el baño. Is it baño?
El baño.
Well, I went to a baño. There was another guy in the baño. Now, you're talking about something else with a baño, because I saw a big pair of Adidas, you know. So, at any rate, we had a great time. Paul Mazursky was the guy that directed. He was a fantastic guy, really a funny, funny man. And it comes out August 5th, which I realize, this is May. How fast we are.
Look, when it comes out, come back and bring a film clip.
I've got to come back before that, Johnny. I need the money.
We'll be back in a moment. Stay where you are. Okay, we just have time. By the way, I mentioned Don Yesso, who's to be with us tonight. We've asked Don to come back as soon as possible. He'll join us soon. Hey, it's good to see you again.
Hey,
thanks for coming.
Johnny.
You're looking well and funny as ever.
Thank you.
And right around August, Moon over Paradise.
Right around August, we'll have a full clip, hopefully.
Tomorrow night, Sylvester Stallone will be here, comedian Steve Middleman, and Victoria Jackson. Thank you. Have a nice night. I'm humbled by that applause. Okay, I enjoy Jonathan Winters. I really do. I've known him for a long time. I never know what he's going to do. He's a superb talent, and he's got a Showtime special called Jonathan Winters and Friends that premieres this Saturday night. Would you welcome Mr. Jonathan Winters?
Well, I want to tell you, Johnny, don't worry about the tanker. I'm not... I'm sorry. I was sleeping. The next thing, a little otter put his face in a puddle.
Well,
licked my face and boom.
True.
Now I'm on cruise ship.
You were not. Oh, that's not. You were not at the helm then.
No, I wasn't at the helm. I probably should have been, you know. But now I'm on the cruise ship, and I'm a good time being a full-time womanizer. But
good to see you again.
Hey, good to see you.
So I had no idea what you were going to do before you walked out here.
I didn't either. I saw that poor devil go in the water, and boy, that's, you know, and he's a big guy. He's not, he's like I am, better-looking man.
I think you're a fine-looking man.
Well, and you're an attractive man. Well, we certainly covered that.
Listen,
you're new in the bar.
Let's don't let this slip into something sordid. Leather City, huh? Nice. Oh, Leather City.
Wait till I take you home to Mother. She's going to love you.
You know, when you came out with it, it reminded me of my Navy days, because normally a flag officer, has the scrambled eggs on the hat.
I bought this where I buy a lot of hats, an antique shop, an antique show. I think it was a show here in California, and it's the Cunard line. And I guess are they still operative? I'm not sure.
Sure.
As far as I know, I usually get down to Long Beach on a Saturday afternoon and see what's happening, whether they're going in or coming out or whatever. And, of course, if a guy does fall, then I grab his hat. But it's kind of fun.
You were not a sailor, of course.
No, I was...
Army man.
I was a Marine.
Marine,
yeah.
That's right. Semper Fi, huh?
Semper Fi, always faithful, isn't it? Always faithful? Yeah. Always ready. I know Semper Paratus was the other. That's Coast Guard, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they were right there.
What's the Boy Scouts?
Boy Scouts?
Yeah.
I think Boy Scouts is pretty much this. Yeah. And when they get older, it's still that. 3 fingers, let's do it.
Were you a Boy Scout at all?
No, I was not a Boy Scout. I wanted to be. My mother was. I went to her at that time. I was a little old, too. I thought I'd be a shoo-in. I was almost 16.
Well, that's a little old, yeah.
Yeah, a little old, and I thought that's the reason I'd stand a better chance. So I went to her, and I said, I'd like to be an Eagle Scout. And she said, well, you just don't walk in as an Eagle. You have to be a Cub. You're too old to be a Cub.
Merit badges, all.
Yeah, merit badges. And I said, well, at least I'd like to be a Boy Scout. And she said, well, do you have money for a uniform? And, of course, I never had money for anything except a knife that I had in my boots. I had high tops. I always had that. And I still carry it. When I'm driving now, I'll be driving after the show. And I have a good-sized rascal, put that in, So when somebody sticks their finger up in the air or something and says something unattractive or sideswipes me, I always say, hey, how you doing, man? How you doing? Good. A little bit of violence,
So you never became a Boy Scout?
No, I never became a Boy Scout. There were so many areas that I failed in.
Well, we talked a little bit about, you're from the Midwest, Ohio, and I'm from the Midwest, which is considered, right in the heart of the country. About this time of the year, spring. Nice back there. Remember girls? How'd you do with the girls when you were young?
I think I remember girls in the winter, too.
Winter, too? Well, of course, I didn't mean that you...
I was looking forward to spring.
Yeah.
And, but no, I was a kid. Again, I had a lot of chores. Plus, the fact that I remember Sunday school, I was asked constantly, stop thinking about it.
Oh.
And...
that was a sin.
Well, I guess it was a sin.
Yeah.
And I've always said, God is in my mind and the devil's in my pants. At any rate, I was a kid. I wasn't a lech. I wasn't a horny kid or anything like that. I was just kind of always, ooh. Once you open the eyes, then you're considered bad news, know. Hi, Betty Jean. Why don't you do that?
And they were always named somebody like Betty Jean.
Always Betty Jean.
Oh, yeah.
And it was always, no. What's this? What is this? No. All right, then try a smaller size.
Will you respect me tomorrow? Remember those?
Will you respect me?
You won't respect me.
One thing I did, I made a terrible move. I've only done this once in my life.
Yeah.
Of course, I've been married so long now, all this is behind me. Boy, is it behind me. Anyway, one time in high school, I was getting ready to go away anyway, and this wonderful gal, she really a beautiful gal. Her dad was a cop. I'd give her name out, but I'm sure he's still alive. And cops have a way of living longer than anybody, really, unless, of course, it's a shootout. But even when he had white hair, it was, hey, you lay a hand on my daughter and I kill you. And then he'd pump that rascal, So I never laid a hand on her. However, thoughts do go through your mind once you're out of town. And we were going to a drive-in theater, and it was about...
drive-ins, yeah.
No more. But hey, listen, boy, that's those are fun pads, And so I had this little fun car with a stick shift, you know. I mean, I say stick shift that was down on the floor shift. Floor, yeah. And they were awkward, too, of course, you know, moving those things and bending them a lot. So, at any rate, I turned to this girl, and we drove. We had seen the movie, both attractions, a doubleheader, double feature, and we pulled out, and we were about a mile away from the drive-in. It was Dayview Drive-In, always remember that. And I turned to her, and I said, Polly, I'd stopped the car. And I said, I'm crazy about you, and I love you, and I know you've dated a lot of guys, which she had, about 56 guys. And she'd been through baseball teams and, football. Anyway, a lovely girl, maintained her figure. And so I said to her, just give me a big kiss. Typical of a kid, you know, a young boy. And I said, give me a big kiss. I really need that, if nothing else. And then I said something else because I became excited, and I said, if you don't, get out and take a walk. And she got out. And I felt sorry for her. It was quite chilly. And we were at least 8 miles from town, you know, take a walk. It's very crude. And I can understand where women and young girls especially hate young men for saying something like that. You know, come on, I want something.
Yeah.
So I said, I apologize. And she cold-cocked me. Broke my jaw in 4 places.
Paulie.
Oh, boy. I went home like this.
You'll never forget.
Strong woman.
Yes. We'll be right back. We're back. Reminiscing about growing up in the Midwest. Did you have a relatively happy childhood?
I had an unusual childhood. It was always, are you here again? What is it? What is it now? Well, I just came in for some love. All right, we're gonna love.
Sorry I brought that up. Just a little affection, huh?
But I must say, I was an only child, and I'm getting very close now to where I'm almost stopping complaining about my childhood entirely, which is very tough. Yeah. But the thing is, it's true. I mean, you know, if you're making a good living and you got a family and a wife and a house, it's very close to being paid for. Just about like this.
Things aren't so bad then.
No, things aren't so bad. And I got a car, you know, and a wild beast in the yard. We don't know what it is, but it's...
Where did you...
It's passed away, and we've got it on a track, you know.
Yeah.
We've got it's dead, but what we have done, we took a taxidermist, did something a little bizarre, no animal lovers, and I love animals. I want to lay that
I know that.
Love animals, but when Scrubbles, not Scrabble, Scrubbles, I don't know, yeah, our neighbor named it, he's an alcoholic, but... and he's, hey, Scrabble. So, we took bicycle flare, the reflectors, and put that in the animal's eyes. And boy, when you see that rascal coming down the path,
It's an attention getter.
yeah, it's an attention.
Well, you must have picked up your bizarre sense of humor from somewhere in your family. Was your mother, father, or grandfather? I
My
mean,
mother had a great sense of humor.
Yeah,
She was
mine too.
A very, very funny lady.
Yeah,
and
mine too.
very, very tough. She was in show business. She was on a small radio station.
But funny.
But funny.
Yeah.
It's funny. She said something to me which has carried through my life, and it's a little something I'd like to pass along to you. Perhaps if you're, you know, just drop Reader's Digest there in the Pullman car number 38. My mother turned to me one time and she said, maybe I've mentioned this on the air before, and if I have, why, raise your hands. But she said, would you like to be an intellectual? And I always wanted to be because I was very slow. I was labeled dumb in a number of classes. So coming out of the war and everything, I thought, geez, it would be fun to be an intellectual, you know, at least to take a crack at it. And she said, always read the end of every book. Forget about the beginning. Forget about the middle. Read the end. And remember to move constantly among the hors d'oeuvres and a little patter that's going on at a cocktail party so that somebody come up,
Hi, John. Did you read the Lavender Beaver? Wasn't that an interesting thing where the man escaped to Minsk? And
Oh, yes, I did read that. Fascinating book. And, of course, the star, he was stabbed 16 times in the forehead and then fell forward on a used paper. I think it was New York Times. And fascinating. Excuse me, I want to get some more d'oeuvres. And
Just throw in the last finish of the book and move on.
Yeah. So she helped me with that. My grandfather was kind of guy. He was funny.
Yeah.
He'd been a banker, and he said, bankers are not funny. They're wealthy, but they have no sense of humor. And he said, tellers, are like this, and they're really like that, of course, if somebody does this. But he was funny, and he said, just think, and he loved show business.
Yeah.
He never got into it, but he said, the great thing about show business is you can be anybody you want to be. I mean, of course, that's not true. We know that, John. There are a lot of things I want to be. The thing is, it's important to know where you're playing. All the world is not a stage. Might have been when Willie was alive, But if you start playing out here about 3 blocks away, past Hadney's or Chadney's, wherever it is, and directing traffic, okay, Bob, all right. There's a flying saucer coming in. Mr. Winters.
And you used to do those kind of things, didn't you?
Oh, yes.
All the world was a stage.
All the world was a stage. Also, all the men were in heavy white with a red cross on their arm.
And they came and said, don't do that no more.
God, it just seemed months after. How are we doing today? What do you mean, how are we doing? I want to get out of here, man. Well, you will when you get well. I'm well now. Can't you tell I'm well? I feel great.
We shall return.